Should you buy Chinese cars in general in 2022? Or should you stick to the classic approach that Chinese is bad and only the well-known massive brands are good? So this is going to be a slightly philosophical, perhaps a little bit more ranty, but on point and conversational video from me. If this is something up your alley, slightly different video today for you, please stick around. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is MG Owners Australia and I'm Dimitri. As I already said to you, today is going to be different. We are not talking about features of MGHS, or we're not talking about MG as a brand in general. We're talking about something that keeps coming up in multiple sort of social media streams, comments to mine and other videos. I'm obviously interested in this topic, so I'm watching videos of other content creators, reviews of the cars and so on and so forth. Not only MG, but because MG is owned by SAIC Motor Corporation, naturally Chinese cars, especially their supply in Australia and how they're treated in Australia, both from the servicing perspective and from dealership perspective, chains, distribution chains, and naturally adoption among average Joes and Janes, you and I, interests me. And today I thought I'll offer you my little thoughts kind of filled video on whether or not you should buy Chinese cars and what drives my choices. So naturally you choose for yourself. You go with whatever makes you feel comfortable and whatever you believe is worth your money, right? So it's not about me trying to convince you. It's not about me also pretending to know better. No, I don't. And I haven't owned this car or my wife's car for that matter. We have two MGs in the family, as you know, long enough to say, oh, they're rock solid or whatever. I don't know, okay? But so far I know what value for money looks like, and I also have a certain history of working with Chinese products in the past that you need to know of, potentially saving you thousands of dollars and maybe just a lot of kind of internal turmoil when you are trying to choose a car and worrying too much about it being Chinese, whatever. I welcome, by the way, your comments, very much so. Tell me how you feel about this. What are your thoughts? Are you struggling? Are you not? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I don't mind if people disagree with me as long as we all remain always mutually respectful. That's my only ask. All right. What you need to know about me and what creates that history of successfully using Chinese products in my life. Primarily, it manifests itself in many years of me buying outright Chinese phones and Chinese electronics, several other pieces of Chinese electronics. What pieces are those? First of all, phones, smartphones. The one that I'm recording this video on is one example. Chinese tablets for entertainment, movie watching, whatever. Dash cams I had from Chinese manufacturers, a few other kind of appliances and other kind of stuff. It is all about electronics. What can I tell you? Look, again, this is a separate kind of holy war, and funnily enough that my wife still sticks with Apple products, for example. She has Apple phones, and, you know, as I would say to you, more power to you, more power to her. It is what it is, whatever you prefer. However, I am of the opinion that if I do my research and I find a Chinese manufacturer, which is a big brand, in my case, this phone, for example, that I'm recording this on, is very, very Chinese, called Xiaomi. Xiaomi is a massive brand, not the biggest, but second biggest, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of mobile phones and that kind of product in China. And I've been buying Xiaomi phones, like one version, another version next year, another version next year, for, I don't know, probably like 5-7 years. 5-7. I have like 4 of these phones, okay, and I'm always buying a new one. They are of amazing quality. Everything imaginable happened to them. I dropped them, I used them in heat, I used them in different weather conditions. They are waterproof, their cameras are fantastic, and so on and so forth. Perhaps they are not quite there, maybe with the absolute polish and having every imaginable artificial intelligence driven machine learning video chip that iPhones perhaps have. I don't even know, by the way. But, my friends, what I have to tell you is that over the years of me owning Xiaomi products, every single time, I look at their new offering, and it is probably 10 times cheaper than me buying a roughly equivalent Apple product. It is just a fact. It's not even a point of argument here. Why did I start from that example for you? Because it is the best example for you to say that once you get over yourself, just get over yourself thinking that only Western produced products or classically well-known Apple products are produced in China. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that majority of Apple phones and stuff is produced at Foxconn? And Foxconn is in China. It's Chinese robots making stuff by the license of California-operated business entity that Apple happens to be. Look, I won't pretend to be an expert or that I'm following every business in and out. The only point I'm trying to make to you is that once you get over yourself, and once you see value, and once you look at it and say, it's a massive Chinese brand, people talk positively about this brand, and they have no issues. Yes, those people might be overseas as far as you are concerned. They might be in China, they might be in Russia, they might be somewhere else, but somewhere where that brand penetrated and had a chance to prove itself, right? Xiaomi phones are not known in Australia. Huawei, Oppo, other kind of brands are probably more well known, but it doesn't mean anything. Example that I gave you is again to talk to you a little bit that if you understand that we live in 21 back then when I was doing my last transactions, I suppose, with AliExpress, 2022 right now, it's different times. Companies have global presence. The brands like Mercedes, like BMW, like other car manufacturers, as example, they are operating other than just in their homegrown states, other than just in Stuttgart, Germany, or other than just somewhere where you think it is. Mercedes get assembled in Malaysia or wherever they are, correct me if I'm wrong. It's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is that the brands and the quality is not what it used to be. So I've been through the period of time when Chinese was automatically associated with lower quality, knockoffs, and other kind of stuff. And I would dare say also, when we come back a little bit to the auto manufacturing and that stigma that is attached to the Chinese means poor quality, you will notice if you do some research on Chinese cars in Australia, you would get a lot of negative publicity, if at all. If there would be negative publicity, it would be associated with LDV brand. I, by the way, have nothing against LDV brand, but a lot of auto reviewers, a lot of those journalists, a lot of whom, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of whom are on payroll of bigger companies such as Kia, such as, Hyundai, which I love the brands, but problem is that if your well-being depends on people paying you money, of course you look a bit more favorably at their products and you tend to criticize something that even dares to challenge them on the market. Keep that in mind is all I'm asking you to do. Because I still believe that SAIC Motor that owns LDV and that owns MG, so with MG, I've reviewed this car many times from every single possible angle. You're welcome to take a look on my channel if you haven't watched every single video, which you might not have, right? But you're welcome to do that. I still maintain the position that while some things are not as polished, it's amazing value for money, for this kind of money that I got. LDV, mind you, trying to cross over from trucks and lorries and other kind of stuff that LDV originally, when it used to not be owned by Chinese corporation and stuff, they used to be known for that. They have vans, they have trucks and stuff like that. They are now crossing over towards SUVs with their SUV model, the one that I might review soon enough. They are on the low polish side. You look at them, you sit in them, and you see that it's probably value for money in terms of the size of the truck that you get, or the leathery outfit and the size of the van that you get from them. My brother-in-law has one, and he actually, by the way, loves it. There are other arms of the company, say SAIC Motor in this particular case, if you feel uncomfortable with LDV, and they are currently, even in my opinion, represent fairly unpolished experience for a private owner, for someone who would actually want a car like I own this car. But say MG, completely different story. 7-year warranty, capped servicing, so far so good. All of that points out to me that this is a situation similar to the situation with my phone that I told you about. There was a point to my story earlier. So all I'm trying to say to you is, do not rob yourself of an experience to move on with the program and be modern in the looks on what's on the market, what represents value in 2022. We are not in 1986 anymore, okay? It's not like only Toyotas are reliable, all right? Toyotas also break and also offer horrible customer service, and supply on the cars is 12 months plus. You know, you need to wait. I have someone who is waiting for a Toyota right now to be the order to be fulfilled. That's all I want to talk to you today. Apologies if it came across a little ranty. Hopefully a more all-rounded, however, position, my view on this, in case this is something that would help you make up your mind. Continue your own research. Always do your own research, right? I'm not trying to say to you that I'm right and some other observers, some other people, owners are wrong. But I am generally believing that if a product produced internationally, whether it's China, Russia, Spain, I don't even care where that product is from, but if it represents commercial value to me, I need to see it for that value. I need to do my research. I need to see it for that value rather than as an attached stigma to it, that because it originates from China means it's bad. It's a very, very short-sighted view, and I think that if you assume that view, perhaps it would be not a bad idea to at least challenge yourself on it and validate it before wasting more money on something that might not be necessarily more bulletproof than this, and wasting that money. Hope it helps you. I hope you enjoyed this slight change of pace, and also camera was from a different angle today. Like the video if you liked it. I always appreciate your support, and I always, like I said, welcome discussion in the comments, even if you disagree with me, as long as we remain mutually respectful. Thanks again. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be speaking with you again about something MG, Chinese cars, comparisons, something that very, very soon, in about a week's time. See you later. Bye for now.